Good morning, all. Freedom should not be something you have to deserve. It is something you just naturally have, something that no one can take away from you. Let us celebrate. Happy Independence Day, everyone. I, Abhirami Balasubramanian, from the core of my hearts, welcome you all on the 75th Independence Day program on behalf of the entire VRBGS family, and also feel elated to host the online Independence Day celebration program for you. The Independence Day of India, which is celebrated religiously throughout the country on the 15th of August every year, holds tremendous ground in the list of national days since it reminds every Indian of the dawn of a new beginning, the beginning of an era of deliverance from the clutches of British colonialism of more than 200 years. It was on 15th August 1947 that India was declared independent from British colonialism and the reins of control were handed over to the leaders of the country. India's gaining of independence was remarkable as the struggle for freedom was a long and tiresome one, witnessing the sacrifices of many freedom fighters who laid down their lives on the line. Let us begin today's auspicious event with the invocation of the Almighty. Before we commence, I have an important announcement for all our parents and children. Please keep your videos active and also ensure you raise yourselves while the national anthem is sung. I call upon Ms. Danyashri of grade 7 to initiate this memorable day with prayer. Over to you, Danya.
मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजेत्रीं मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजेत्रीम् आत्मवदेव परानपि पश्यत आत्मवदेव परानपि पश्यत युद्धं त्यजत स्पर्धा त्यजत युद्धं त्यजत स्पर्धा त्यजत त्यजत परेषु क्रममाक्रमणं त्यजत परेषु क्रममाक्रमणं मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजेत्री मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजेत्री जननी पृथिवी कामधुगास्के जननी पृथिवी कामधुगास्के जनको देवः सकलदयालुः जनको देवः सकलदयालुः दाम्यकदत्त दयत्वं जनता दाम्यकदत्त दयत्वं जनता श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां. Thank you.
Thank you, Danya. We all feel blessed indeed. Our principal, ma'am, Mrs. Kamala Sumati, is ready to hoist our national flag with pride and patriotism. Let us salute our national flag and pay our tributes. Requesting you all to rise and salute the flag while being hoisted and sing our national anthem with all due respects.
नायक जय भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा। जन जन मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
அதை தாழ்ந்து பணிந்து புகழ்ந்திடவாரே தாயின் மணிக்கொடி பாரே. அதை தாழ்ந்து பணிந்து புகழ்ந்திடவாரே தாயின் மணிக்கொடி பாரே. ஓங்கி வளர்ந்ததோர் துன்பம் உச்சியின் மேல் வந்தே மாதரம். ஓங்கி வளர்ந்ததோர் துன்பம் அதன் உச்சியின் மேல் வந்தே மாதரம். ஆங்கிலேயதி திகழும் செய்ய பட்டுளி வீசி பறந்தது பாரே. ஆங்கிலேயதி திகழும் செய்ய பட்டுளி வீசி பறந்தது பாரே. தாயின் மணிக்கொடி பாரே.
It's a proud moment for all of our children, for all of us children. It's a pride moment of a glory also. Independence Day of any country is a moment of pride and glory. The great day is dawned with bright future of hope for tomorrow. On this special occasion, paying homage to the freedom fighters is a must need. We must remember the great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Bala Gangadhar Tilak, Bhagat Singh, Sarojini Naidu, and others who fought selflessly for the freedom of our motherland. All the most powerful speeches ever made point to a better future. I repeat, all the most powerful speeches ever made point to a better future. I take immense pleasure to call upon our beloved Principal Ma'am, who is a veteran orator, to share her thoughts today. Over to you, Ma'am.
A glad morning to one and all who have joined in this meet of this historic day of 75th Independence Day celebrations. Having hoisted the national flag and paid reverences to our motherland, I'm here with boundless patriotism to address you all, my dear children. Yes. Traveling way back over the annals of Indian history to the year 1857, We perceive, my dear students, that the mere impudence of the Britishers had paved the way for the entire atrocity that had started in our motherland. And this had led to the freedom struggle by all the freedom fighters from the Jammu and Kashmir to Kanyakumari. The freedom fighters had been relentlessly fighting against the British from the days of 1857 to ensure that our motherland is liberated. And when they started fighting against the Britishers, they were very clear that the Britishers were very, very powerful with paramountcy of power and condescending attitude. The attitude of despising the people, belittling the people, harassing the people. This was the condition of those days where all the patriotic leaders were standing in oneness of thought to attain freedom for our country, my dear children. And nevertheless, these Britishers were very powerful with authority and power. Still, our national leaders were able to edge them out with the most powerful weapon in the world, that is non-violence and satyagraha, which had been initiated by the father of our nation, Sri Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, who had been the catalyst for the entire freedom fight. And the entire movement had taken a right shape for its success. There had been several leaders, we all know, and many unsung heroes who had been with us to get this freedom accomplished. There had been many, we know. Subhash Chandra Bose, Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Rabindranath Tagore, Sarojini Naidu, Veerapandiyan Kattabomman, Pulithevar, many unsung heroes. Unsung heroes, there were many who never had come into limelight, like Kamala Devi Chattopadhyaya, and then Kanniganti Hanumantu, and we have one more named as, Kitturu Chellamma, Rani Chellamma, Kitturu Rani Chellamma from Karnataka. Many, despite the the gender, whether it is a masculine or the feminine, almost the entire country was together with oneness of thought of only the freedom, the liberation of our country from the colonial rule. Having known, we know several freedom fighters, and we had been studying from the past of what their contributions towards to our motherland. When you take the first women to have been imprisoned was Kamala Devi Chattopadhyaya by the Britishers. Can we ever imagine a woman to be imprisoned? We know Rani Jhansi, and she's the one, the Kamala Devi Chattopadhyaya, the unsung hero, was the one, the first time a woman who had been imprisoned by the Britishers is her. For what? For boycotting the foreign goods and promoting only the Indian goods. She was the one who was trying to teach all the kinds of handicrafts and handlooms among the womanhood. So that was her approach, her perception, that she wanted to show the oneness to the entire country, that all are there with her. That is how she approached. And hence, she had been sent to jail for the first time, a woman being imprisoned, my dear children. And moving forward, the most intrepid soul, Kanniganti, I told you, an unsung hero whom we had never heard of, Kanniganti Hanumantu. He hails from Karnataka. At the age of 20 years, my dear children, we all have a lot of desires, a lot of ambitions, and we have our own likes where we want to enjoy our life. All these unsung heroes and patriotic leaders were deprived of all kinds of comforts and happiness, the basic happiness that they could enjoy of what we all enjoy. So we need to give a strong thought over all such people, my dear children. So coming back to this Kanniganti Hanumantu, what did he do? From the age of 20 years, a prime age, where a person would rather think and dream of many things in his life, that he had to enjoy all this. But he was an intrepid and absolutely a brave soul who just thought about our country and who relentlessly struggled, relentlessly, with unflinching faith, a faith that never has a second thought, that I must achieve. Nevertheless, I have been harassed and hounded by the people of the British. I will never give up. This was the thought that many people, many patriotic leaders and unsung heroes had. And hence today we are here with all liberty to do whatever we want. We speak about freedom of speech, we speak about freedom of liberty, we speak about freedom of information, and all things. We can lead a life of what we want without disturbing others. That is what the democracy is. And this was not achieved just as a cakewalk by anybody of the past. They had to almost give their lives, sacrificing the lives on one hand and not even enjoying any basic comfort is on the other hand. As the students, the futuristic pillars of our country, you need to give a strong thought as how it had been and what they had done for us and what we are going to contribute in return to them. This kind of a thought should emerge in your minds on this day. And that could be your best contribution where you could exercise in your future. So moving forward, as I was discussing about Kanniganti Hanumantu, and I was talking about Kamala Devi Chattopadhyaya, the unsung heroes, we had to still understand this, our national leaders, they not only attained independence for our country, but laying their own lives, sacrificing their own lives, but also they had set as the path setters. They were the ones where many people followed their footsteps across the globe, my dear children. Our national leaders had become the path setters for many eminent and powerful leaders in this world. I would rather take it an example where our Mahatma Gandhiji's Satyagraha theory, we all know, where the Britishers had to quit our India, though they had been very powerful and they could do anything to us. But still, they were all spellbound with the immense patience and the sustenance power of what our national leaders have portrayed in the past. And this Satyagraha strategy of what our Mahatma Gandhi ji had brought a shape into and got the independence were followed by many eminent leaders. And for an instance, I would rather try to share two different examples for it. One is Martin Luther King, wherein he followed the footsteps of Satyagraha during the Civil Rights Commission in the United States.
Desham manade, tejam manade, desham manade, tejam manade, egurutunna jenda manade, neeti manade, jati manade, neeti manade, jati manade, prajala andadanda manade, andala bandam ఉంది ఈ నేలలో, ఆత్మీయరాగం ఉంది ఈ గాలిలో, ఏ కులమైనా ఏ మతమైనా, ఏ కులమైనా ఏ మతమైనా, భరతమాతకొకటే లేరా, రాజులమైన పేదలుమైన భరతమాత సుతులే లేరా. దేశం మనదే, తేజం మనదే, ఎగురుతున్న జెండా మనదే, నీతి మనదే, జాతి మనదే, ప్రజల అండదండ మనదే. ఇంకెన్ని భేదాలున్నా, మాకెన్ని తేడాలున్నా, ఎన్ని భేదాలున్నా, మాకెన్ని తేడాలున్నా, దేశమంటే ఒక్కటవుతాం అంతా ఈ వేళ. వందే మాతరం అందామందరం వందే మాతరం అందామందరం వందే మాతరం అందామందరం వందే మాతరం అందామందరం జై హింద్.
Lovely performances. From the past, Hindi has evolved as a language and has become our Rashtra Bhasha. I call upon Ms. Manasvi Jain of grade 7 to kindle the sense of unity with her Hindi speech. Over to you, Manasvi.
Yes, yes, ma'am. आदरणीय प्रधानाचार्य जी, सम्मान्य शिक्षकगण एवं मेरे प्यारे साथियों, स्वतंत्रता दिवस के इस पावन अवसर पर मुझे अपने विचार व्यक्त करने का अवसर प्राप्त कर मुझे हर्ष की अनुभूति हो रही है। हर वर्ष भारत ने स्वतंत्र रूप में 74 साल पूरे किए हैं। यह हमारा 75वां स्वतंत्रता दिवस समारोह है। हर भारतीय के लिए स्वतंत्रता दिवस बहुत महत्व रखता है। अंग्रेज भारत आए और हमारे देश को बड़े अच्छे से जानने और परखने के बाद हमारे देश को बहुत ध्यान से देखे और फिर हमारी कमजोरियों को ध्यान में रखते हुए हम पर आक्रमण किया और हमारे देश को करीब 200 वर्षों तक शासन किया। कई वीर योद्धाओं ने लड़ाइयाँ लड़ी, फिर जाकर हमारा देश स्वतंत्र बना। तब से लेकर आज तक हम लोग हर वर्ष 15 अगस्त को स्वतंत्रता दिवस के रूप में मनाते आए हैं। हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी द्वारा हर साल लाल किले पर झंडा फहराया जाता है। जैसे कि हम सब जानते हैं, हमारा पूरा देश कोरोना महामारी के चपेट में है। ऐसे में पीएम मोदी जी ने देश को आत्मनिर्भर भारत का नारा दिया, जिसे केंद्र सरकार ने हमारे देश को 15 अगस्त 2021 की थीम को आत्मनिर्भर भारत बना दिया है। तो आइए हम इस शुभ अवसर पर यह वचन लें कि हमारे अपने बेहतर कल के लिए अपने आज का सदुपयोग करें और अपने मातृभूमि की रक्षा करेंगे। हम देश की शान, देश की हम संतान है। 3 रंगों से रंगा तिरंगा यह अपनी पहचान है। जय हिंद। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Manasvi, for your wonderful speech. Here comes our little master Manav Sriram of grade 2 to entertain us with his keyboard. Over to you, Manav. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. Good
Dear, you
morning.
can start.
Good morning, all. Happy Independence Day to my dear teachers, principal ma'am, to my all friends. Shall I start?
Dear, you can start.
I was again at England. Vande Mataram.
Awesome, dear. Awesome. It was really awesome. I still feel like lost in those melody dipped music notes. Well, come back now. Next, I have Miss Chinmay of grade 8 is ready to give a thoughtful speech in English. Welcome, dear. Chinmay.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. I am Chinmay from grade 8B. Today I am going to give a speech about Independence Day. India's struggle for independence started in 1857 with the Sepoy Mutiny in Meerut, and it gained momentum after the First World War. In the 20th century, under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, the Indian National Congress and other political organizations launched a countrywide independence movement and revolt against the oppressive British rule. During the Second World War in 1942, the Indian Congress launched the Quit India movement, demanding an end to the British rule, which prompted colonial rulers detaining many campaigners, nationalists, and ministers, including Gandhi. Some of the other independence movements launched were Civil Disobedience Movement, Swadeshi and Boycott Movement, Home Rule Movement, etc. And finally, on 15th August 1947, we got our independence. Hence, this year we are celebrating the 75th Independence Day. Every year, the Prime Minister of India hoists the national flag at Delhi's Red Fort and makes an address to the nation, which is followed by a military parade. The President of India also delivers the address to the nation speech. The Chief Ministers hoist the national flag in their respective states. In honor of the occasion, 21 gunshots are fired. Independence Day is observed with flag hoisting ceremonies, parades, and cultural events in all Indian states and union territories. Patriotic songs in regional languages are broadcast on televisions and radio channels. They are also played alongside flag hoisting ceremonies. Let's also thank the freedom fighters such as Mahatma Gandhi, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, Bhagat Singh, and many others who struggled a lot and sacrificed their lives for the sake of our country's independence. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you, Chinmay, for your marvelous speech. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to hold your breath. Here comes Miss Vasha of grade 7 with dynamic movements.
Thank you.
Luther King, who followed the footsteps of our patriotic leaders. And I was talking about Nelson Mandela. Like he was the first black president who fought against the apartheid. And he followed our strategy of satyagraha to attain this success. Why I'm trying to speak about all this is most of us do not know for which we are really popular for, where the whole world hails for all the traditions, culture, the strategies, the values for which we Indians are known for. But we miserably fail to realize that. And we keep worrying about of getting attracted towards the foreign culture. We should never give up our identity, my dear children. When the other country men are ready to really adore our culture, our tradition, our values, we should never give it up for the sake of anyone. And we should ensure that is the only identity for us. We should never get carried away by the foreign culture. Please keep this in mind. So, such great, eminent leaders, powerful leaders in this world, when they had followed the footsteps of our country, why not we, being Indians, where our ancestors and forefathers had to really miserably fight and they had undergone a lot of grievous hardships in attaining the freedom of our country, why can't we stick to their strategies, their virtuous qualities for which our country has got its own identification? So we need to keep this in mind in future as well, right? Okay. Moving forward, I would like to even share a few more points wherein we all can feel our own selves proud for having been called Indians. What could be the various things that we can really think about to call our own selves that we are proud to say that we are Indians? We have a lot of brain drain these days. Many people traveling abroad where they receive their qualitative education here and they travel abroad. Of course, traveling abroad and exploring in the field of education is really good. But what could be my contributions as a student to this country is the next important challenge of what any student must think of, right? But if that does not happen, then there is no meaning that we are really having a lot of love and we have a sense of patriotism towards our country. Fine. What are the various things that we can think of having our country known as India and we are proud to be Indians, right? My dear children, you can proudly state to anybody for that matter that our country is the only country which has never invaded any country in this world in the past 10,000 years of its history. I repeat, our country is the only country where we have never invaded any country. We always welcomed all the people. Almost you have all people from different countries coming and settling here. And we had never tried to rather send them away from our country. Such kind of a receptive approach we have. Such kind of an open-mindedness we have. It is not an easy thing as what we all think. Across the globe, when you take, people cannot accept others. People cannot tolerate others. People do not have the sustenance. But we Indians can proudly say that India had never invaded any country in the past 10,000 years of its history. So we are proud to call our own selves as Indians. The first point to bring it to your notice. Fine. As I was discussing the second point, being Indians, as I told you, we are very, very receptive. What is that receptive called as? Open-mindedness. We accept things. We accept even the failures, but we are ready to stand on those failures and forward to ensure that we succeed in life. Right? We are very, very receptive. And also we have a remarkable open-mindedness. where we sustain things. What is the meaning of sustenance? We tolerate. We tolerate because we had been seeing from the patriotic leaders where they had remarkable sustenance, where how many times they had been tortured by the Britishers and how they had been tormented behind the prisons. But still, with all the pains, my dear children, they stood with only one objective: freedom. Freedom for the future of our countrymen. They never knew who we are, but still they worked for us. Don't you think it is one of the greatest things that we need to analyze? Yes? Fine. So we discussed two different points. One is that we had never invaded in the past 10,000 years of our Indian history. So such kind of people that we are, broad-minded, open-minded, very benevolent, philanthropic, such kind of people we are. And secondly, I discussed that we are the people wherein we have a lot of sustenance power. And our country is a wonderful land where it is naturally blessed with rich natural resources and a very good tropical climate. Most of the countries do not enjoy such a beautiful climate of what we have. Climate does not only give us the positive vibes, it has got to do a lot with agriculture. And agriculture is one of the important resources for the benefit of the human and also for the economic growth. So we are blessed. We are blessed by the Almighty, where we enjoy a good tropical and beautiful climate to live with. That's the third important point where we must keep in mind, and we must ensure that it is being promoted and protected. It is being promoted and protected to ensure that this climate is being taken care, where we never go for any kind of going against of creating an unhealthy environment, right? Fine. There's a third point I would like to share. And the fourth one, when you happen to see in the world, the first university in the entire world, which was the first university wherein that they could impart education, is only from India. You should have heard somewhere even in social science, Takshila. The university name is called as Takshila, and it has originated from our country in the place called Takshila, right? So the world's first university had originated in our country called Takshila, and about 10,500 students across the world. How many students? 10,500 students across the world had visited our country just to receive knowledge from our countrymen. Just to receive knowledge from our countrymen. Just imagine how knowledgeable our people are and what kind of good qualities that they had been inherited with and how much of wisdom that they are blessed with. 10,500 students, and you know how many subjects were taught? 60 different subjects were taught in Takshila University in about 700 BC. This had taken place in 700 BC, my dear children. Such is the enormous and remarkable Indian history we have. We need to really pay a lot of tributes and accolades to this kind of a history from where we all hail from. And we need to really think and pay our reverences to all those ancestors and forefathers who had taken our country to such great heights. So moving back to the points of what we were discussing, the next point what I would like to share is about the education I spoke about. Now about the industry of medicine. We all know Ayurveda is the first and ancient school of medicine. Ayurveda is the ancient and the first school of medicine. Medicine means it was equivalent to Ayurveda. And this was originated from our country, and it has been practiced only by Indian ancestors, not by anybody in this world. Not by anybody in this world. There could be a lot of branches that had come up now, but the initiation was given by our countrymen. Please keep this in mind. So the contributions, what our ancestors had brought it forward to us, we need to ensure that we take it forward with all sense of thought that I must take care and I must ensure it is never spoiled and I must ensure it is being upheld. This must be the thought for all of us, and you guys are with brimless energy where you can really do better than what we are. You can do better contributions than what we are. So the thought of oneness, the thought of rather what I'm going to contribute to the society where my ancestors and forefathers had rather given a monumental contribution to this country, and what should I do with respect to the protection of all these privileges that they have given to us, and how do I take it forward, would be your thought now. Moving forward, we discussed about the field of education, we discussed about the field of medicine, and now I would like to rather speak about the modern India. Okay, fine. These are all the things that had happened in the past. How about the modern India? What exactly that we are doing now? Of course, even in the modernism, the modern India had started progressing in leaps and bounds, especially in the field of science and technology, my dear children. The field of science and technology, because it realizes, our country realizes that this is one of the key factors to ensure, I'm sorry, to ensure that only if at all we are rather focusing and we are progressed in science and technology, our economic growth will parallelly grow higher and higher. And hence, we have a very good upper hand even in the field of science and technology. What exactly that we could achieve in this field is that the grand launch of Chandrayaan 1 and Chandrayaan 2, which is the unmanned space mission by Indian Space Research Organization in the years 2008 and 2019 respectively. And its objective is to ensure that we understand and explore more in the space about the origin and the evolution of the moon. We had been very successful in the launch of these two, Chandrayaan 1 and 2, and we are able to rather reach greater heights in the field of science and technology among the best nations in the world, my dear children. We have got good reverences, we have got good image, we have got good reputation of the best nations whom they think that India achieves big things. That is the thought that all people have started developing with us, right? So this is one of the biggest achievements. And the next one is the BrahMos, which is one of the spectacular launch, I would call it an invention, BrahMos, in our country in the year 2007. What is this BrahMos is? It is an anti-ship cruise missile, which is the world's fastest one. It's the world's fastest anti-ship cruise missile, which has been operated now, even now, by our Indian Army, Navy, and also Air Force, right? So this is world's fastest anti-cruise missile, where nobody has got as the two of us. So we are a hub of the big pool of scientists and also the engineers. The second biggest hub of scientists and the engineers is only from our country, my dear children. And you follow their footsteps. And you follow their footsteps. And one more thing I would like to rather speak about, a path-breaking invention is another one is Param, P-A-R-A-M, Param 8000. What is this? It is said to be one of the titled as the supercomputer in the world, the second supercomputer in the world for its intriguing features. People have as such acknowledged and they have publicly announced that it is the world's second powerful supercomputer in the world, which had been invented by India. So what is it that you understand from all this? We have a lot of accomplishments on one hand, we have a lot of sacrifices on the other hand, right? Taking our country's name and fame to larger heights. As children, what should I do now? I live in such a country. What should I do now? Nothing. Do simple thing is that you keep up your responsibility. What is expected? I hail from such a country which is known for big sacrifices, which is known for big achievements. And as a student, what should I do? If at all I have to keep up the name and fame of our country, is only to buckle to my duties. How do I rather keep up my duties? Only two things: sagacity, sincerity. Sagacity and sincerity. What is sagacity? Being very wise in your approach. Think judgmentally what is right and what is wrong. I'm sitting up for my online classes and my mom is expecting that I must concentrate in my classes. and I must approach with sagacity. What is sagacity here? How should I sit for my classes? What should be my body language? How should I follow my etiquette for my online classes? Should I keep my video active? If I'm keeping my video active, what are the benefits that I get? Would I receive a qualitative education? Yes, then I should do it. Nevertheless, I have got a lot of diversions. I must try to overcome that and I must focus. This is called sagacity. A wise approach. A wise approach towards handling your responsibilities is called as sagacity. And you have sincerity. Nothing can be achieved in this world, my dear children, without sincerity. If at all those patriotic leaders had never been sincere, had never been wise enough, do you think we should have been living this kind of happy life these days? Not at all. Not at all. So you guys will have to prove, yes, we all have inherited all those qualities from our forefathers. They are our ancestors, and I will have to prove and I will have to make them feel proud, and I can do whatever I wanted, and that is possible for me. If you have this determination and this perseverance, only then we can call our own selves as proud Indians. It's not a day just only to remember them or pay reverences and floral tributes only to the martyrs. It is also a day where it recalls our responsibilities and think about that whether I am keeping up my responsibilities, whether I am trying to uphold the name and fame of our country, that matters a lot. This is what, as the futuristic pillars, that you would be thinking, and you need to rather worry, and your direction of your approach and responsibilities should be only in that particular direction. Keep this in mind, right? So it is not just a day only to pay reverences to those patriotic leaders, but also have a reminder, a strong caution and reminder that I must keep up my responsibilities so that I can make all those ancestors and forefathers, whom I call them as unsung heroes or national leaders or patriotic leaders, whomsoever I title them, I can those contributions, their hard work takes a complete shape only when we keep up our responsibilities now. Because our country is said to be, was one of the richest countries in the world, my dear children. At one point of time in the past, we were the richest countries of about when you have about almost 120 countries, only 2 or 3 countries were the richest, and we were on that list, we were one among them. But now that is not the state. That is not the state. There are too many curses. One is the corruption, isn't it? So I don't want to rather speak more on the negative aspects of where the problems are. You guys as children will have to have a positive and optimistic approach, as this is what the past is, and how do I take it forward to ensure that this past of our history is always upheld in the world of nations by carrying out my responsibilities. I want only as simple as that. I wanted you guys to think like this, okay? So please, I make a sincere appeal to my children on this day. Again, I'm trying to reiterate, it is not a day of just a celebration, but also have our own self-introspection, that whether I am trying to keep up my duties to ensure that the name and fame of our country is upheld in the world of nations. This should be the thought that every Indian, not just the children, every Indian must carry it forward on this Independence Day, right? I think I'm taking a lot of your time. Thank you so much, my dear children, for all your patient hearing. And in this particular context, I would like to thank all my parents for their wonderful support in bringing up the children as well, right? So let us all rather take it forward, where we try to imbibe all the good qualities, sagacity, sincerity, perseverance, and determination from all those national leaders, our forefathers, our ancestors, and see that we grow up where it reflects on the growth of our country, right? Thank you very much, children. Jai Hind. Thank you. Over to you, Abhiravi.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for throwing us light onto the unsung heroes of freedom struggle and their sacrifices. That was really an informative speech where you highlighted the accomplishments of India in various fields from ancient historic era to modern historic era. Thank you once again, ma'am. We salute and thank our freedom fighters who gave their lives and made great sacrifices. Let us dedicate this Independence Day to the sons of the nation and start our cultural programs. The world is full of diamonds and gems, and we are having some of them here to cherish the event with their performances. Firstly, I call upon Mr. Manpreet of Grade 7 to sing a song for us and hold the flavor of patriotism in our heart and soul. Everybody is proud of their identity, but Tamilians always feel more proud of their language because Tamil has been one of the most ancient languages in the world, and we do enjoy this proud privilege being a Tamilian. Last but not the least, I have a proud Tamilian here, Ms. Sivashri of Grade 8, to deliver a speech in Teen Tamil Moli. Over to you, Sivashri.
எஸ் மேம். எமது மரியாதைக்குரிய ஆசிரியர்கள், பெற்றோர்கள் மற்றும் அன்பான நண்பர்கள் அனைவருக்கும் இனிய காலை வணக்கம். நமது தாய்நாட்டான இந்திய திருநாட்டின் 75வது சுதந்திர தினத்தை ஆகஸ்ட் 15ஆம் நாள், அதாவது இன்று கொண்டாட இருக்கிறோம். 1947ஆம் ஆண்டு ஆகஸ்ட் 15ஆம் நாள் இந்தியா பிரிட்டிஷ் அரசாங்கத்திடமிருந்து தாய்நாட்டின் சுதந்திரத்தை அடைந்தது. ஆகஸ்ட் மாதம் 15ஆம் நாள் இந்திய மக்களின் வாழ்விலும் மனதிலும் அழகாக பதிந்த நாளாக விளங்குகிறது. நமது தாய்நாட்டான இந்தியா சுதந்திரம் பெற்று சுமார் அரை நூற்றாண்டுகளையும் கடந்து நாம் சுதந்திரமாக நமது தாய்நாட்டில் சுதந்திர காற்றை சுவாசித்துக் கொண்டிருக்கிறோம் என்றால் அதற்கு முதல் காரணம் நமது தேசிய தலைவர்களும் போராட்ட வீரர்களுமே. தீப கற்பம் என்றும் பாரத தேசம் என்றும் நமது நாட்டை அழைப்பார்கள். மேற்கே பாகிஸ்தான், கிழக்கே வங்காளதேசம் என நமது இந்திய நாடானது இரண்டாக பிரிக்கப்பட்டு பெருவாரியான பரப்பளவை கொண்டு ஒரே நாடாக இருந்தது. மன்னர் ஆட்சி காலத்தில் நமது இந்திய நாடு மிகவும் சீரும் செழிப்புமாகவும் பசுமை வாய்ந்ததாகவும் செல்வ செழிப்பில் உலகிலுள்ள மற்ற நாடுகளுக்கு எடுத்துக்காட்டாகவும் இருந்தது. இந்திய சுதந்திரத்திற்காக பல போராட்டங்களையும் கிளர்ச்சிகளையும் எழுப்பிய தலைவர்களும் புரட்சியாளர்களும் சிறிதளவு கூட சோர்வடையவில்லை. 1947ஆம் ஆண்டில் பிரித்தானிய இந்திய கவர்னர் ஜெனரலான விஸ்கவுண்ட் லூயி மவுண்ட் பேட்டன் அவர்கள் ஜூன் 3ஆம் தேதி பிரித்தானிய இந்தியா பேரரசை மதச்சார்பற்ற இந்தியா என்றும் முஸ்லிம் பாகிஸ்தான் என்றும் பிரித்தளிப்பதாக அறிவித்தார். இந்த தேச பிரிவினையால் 1947ஆம் ஆண்டு ஆகஸ்ட் 14ஆம் தேதி பாகிஸ்தான் தனி தேசமாக பிறந்தது. இந்திய நாடு 1947ஆம் ஆண்டு ஆகஸ்ட் 15ஆம் தேதி நள்ளிரவில் சுதந்திர தேசமானது. சுதந்திர நாட்டின் பிரதமராக ஜவஹர்லால் நேருவும் துணை பிரதமராக சர்தார் வல்லபாய் பட்டேலும் பதவியேற்றனர். அவர்கள் இந்திய நாட்டில் கடைசி கவர்னர் ஜெனரலாக இருந்த மவுண்ட் பேட்டனை அதே பதவியில் தொடரும்படி அழைத்தனர். அவர்களுடைய அழைப்பை ஏற்று அவரும் சிறிது காலம் பதவியில் இருந்தார். பின்னர் 1948ஆம் ஆண்டு ஜூன் மாதம் மவுண்ட் பேட்டனுக்கு பதிலாக சக்கரவர்த்தி ராஜகோபாலாச்சாரி அமர்த்தப்பட்டார். வருடம் ஆகஸ்ட் 15ஆம் தேதி இந்திய நாடு சுதந்திரம் அடைந்ததை கோலாகலமாக கொண்டாடி வருவார்கள். சுதந்திர தினமன்று பள்ளி கல்லூரிகளில் தேசிய கொடி ஏற்றப்பட்டு மாணவர்களுக்கு இனிப்பு வழங்கி விடுமுறை அளிக்கப்படும். சுதந்திர தின விழாவில் முப்படை அணிவகுப்பு, நாட்டிய கலை என பல்வேறு வண்ணமயமான நிகழ்ச்சிகள் நடைபெறும். தேசபக்தியுடன் சுதந்திர தினத்தை மகிழ்ச்சியுடன் கொண்டாடி தேசப்பற்றை வளர்ப்போம். வாழ்க இந்தியா, வளர்க பாரதம். நன்றி.
Thank you so much, dear, for your vibrant speech. It is time for us to wind up the show. I now request Mrs. Aarti Vijay to propose the vote of thanks. Over to you, Aarti.
Good morning. Thank you are not just words of moment, but they are the word of bliss. I stand here to give away my vote of thanks, but I stand here speechless. It has been a great day, and we have had the beautiful performances by the students who have all organized and helped in making the special day even more glorified. Today's virtual flag hoisting celebration is a great success only because of the Almighty. I extend my sincere thanks to the managements, Wales Group of Institutions, and Ravindra Bharati Group of Schools, and also to our dear Principal Ma'am for her never ending support and encouragement. I would indeed be failing in my duty if I do not express my gratitude to all our teaching and the non teaching staff, to our beloved parents, and the students of Wales Ravindra Bharati Global School, Medavakum Raj. Thank you all. I'm a proud citizen of India and feel responsible to celebrate such a glorious day. Let our heart enjoy the happiness of being free. Let our soul soar high on this wonderful occasion. With all my heart, I wish Happy Independence Day to